Greetings, YouTube. It should come as no surprise to folks that I encounter social conservatives on a regular basis. I also encounter a wide variety of political views, such as libertarians who are just as unbalanced as the social conservatives, often the same thing at the same time. In fact, I encountered a libertarian just today that was just a piece of work. He's gone now. And one of the things I do encounter, because I'm encountering social conservatives regularly, is I encounter folks that are transphobic, and their position is one of biological essentialism. Now, not long ago, let me check specifically how long ago. Let's see now, November 13th last year, Hank Green of the Green brothers, John and Hank Green, of the nerd folks, did a video where he talked about the fact that there are more than two genders. And it got 23,000 dislikes. On the plus side, it got 48,000 upvotes, and I was one of those upvotes, because it was a good video and it was chock full of really important data. And the gist of his video is that what we learned in high school, I can't even remember when I learned this in high school, the classic, there's XX and there's XY, and those are the only chromosomes humans have. One's male, one's female, and that's it. You're done. Okay, move on to the next. Oh, sorry, Kat. Move on to the next topic. Except it's, like most things in life, a little more complex than that. Our chromosome spectrum does weigh really heavily to the XX and the XY, but it isn't binary. It is, in fact, a spectrum, and there is stuff in the middle. Intersex people exist. They are real. And the most famous case I can think of, person I can think of, is Jamie Lee Curtis. She's intersex. And the fact that they exist means that we can't look at our genes as being binary the way people want to, because that fits in with their narrative that if someone would like to come out and say, well, I'm a woman, and the person hearing that statement has always assumed that this person was a man, or this person identified as a man in the past, well, they're just crazy. They're just out of their minds. They're fooling themselves, but they aren't, because the chromosomes aren't XXXY, and gender, and this is the part that bugs a lot of people, is a social construct. What I'm wearing right now could be viewed today in 2020 as a relatively gender-neutral piece of clothing, attire, t-shirt, sweatshirt, sweatpants. So that is now very much gender-neutral. There was a time, though, when a t-shirt and a sweatshirt was very much a masculine form of attire. A gym rat would wear that and not much else. There was a time when that is not ordinary, everyday streetwear, or in this case, my household wear. And we had much more strict definitions of what was and was not acceptable to wear in public as clothing. And in fact, if you didn't have a minimum number of clothing items on your person that were the appropriate gender, you could be arrested. So if a woman wanted to wear pants in public at one time, she also had to be wearing like a bra and a pair of panties that were considered appropriate to a woman, or she could be arrested. I'm not joking about this. These laws were put into place to prevent people from cross-dressing because other folks, the social conservatives in society, felt uncomfortable by that. They didn't like the fact that they could look at someone and they could not tell at a glance what gender that person fell into, that binary. Except the chromosomes aren't binary. Gender's a social construct. And why do you care what somebody else wears? Of course, what I think it really comes down to is that the people in charge of the socially conservative cultures are men. And men don't like to be confused. I think they're afraid that if they look at someone and they can't immediately identify masculine, feminine, and yet they find themselves attracted to that person, that makes them ask some really uncomfortable questions about themselves, ones they do not wish to face. So rather than face those issues or just accept the fact that, sexuality, like gender and chromosomes, are complex, they would just rather tell other people how they can appear in public, tell other people how they can express their gender, tell other people that your chromosomes are XY or XX and nothing else. It's all about making the social conservatives comfortable in their social conservatism. Well, social conservatism is a disease, so that's what they can do with their comfort. If it's making social conservatives uncomfortable, there's probably behind that discomfort a really important topic we should be discussing. As when social conservatives get uncomfortable, it usually means that society, it's time to change.